What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Gear Locker and welcome to Roast Your Kit episode 9. This is a huge episode because not only do we have some changes, but we have 2 winners. That's right, the first time in Roast Your Kit history I could not decide. So I'm really excited to showcase this episode with you, but before we get there, there's a couple things I gotta get out first. Number 1, you guys do not read directions. You do not listen to I don't know who taught you, but you need to follow the instructions on how to submit, which is why I'm changing it up. All future entries for any of my series are going to go to tglentries@gmail.com. I'm going to put all that information in the description as well as list it later on. So stay tuned for that as well as to see my 2 favorite kits from this episode. I don't know about you guys, but we have so much to get through, so let's jump right in. The first kit comes from WW2, and this is his Russian style kit. And as I look at it, you have a Russian uniform, and that's about it. You have a lot of AliExpress looking gear. I know that that's a Cirrus style carrier. You have a dangler. It looks like you have a lot of gear that just isn't really Russian, especially that Mitch helmet. Now, you mentioned that this was inspired by some of the current conflict stuff, and I think inspired is the best word for this, because even taking a look at your reference photos, this doesn't really line up. Now, the green bean kit is awesome. Now, the green bean kit is pretty darn cool. I'm not a Russian style guy. In fact, I don't really like a lot of Russian gear, but it's a really interesting piece together kit, and I would love to see it emulated here. But unfortunately, I don't think you're hitting the bill on a lot of these parts. Load bearing equipment, helmet, and rifle included, I think you have a lot of work to do. So I would encourage you to take that challenge and make your kit that much better. Bring reference photos to the table that showcase either your exact kit that you're wearing or modify your kit to fit them. So for now, I'm gonna give it 1 fruitcake out of 5, make some improvements on it. The next kit comes from Callsign Hutch, and this is his US Green Beret SeaTac CRF team. And he's part of the original detachment group, which is his impression group. Now this guy is Gucci'd out to the nines with all of that modern equipment, including an OpsCore SF, a Cry AVS, lots of First Spear, S-Tac, Spiritus, all that kind of hype beast gear, and well used and loved gear, of course. Now straight out of the gate, man, I hate multicam arid. I docked some points on one of the last guys in a previous episode, and I'm gonna have to do that here. It just doesn't do it for me. Maybe it's accurate, which we'll take a look at the reference photos in a second, but really not my thing. I'm more of a classic pattern guy myself. It does look like you have a lot of really good details here, and the helmet setup looks baller. Very effective, very high-speed operator. So let's take a look at those reference photos to see if I'm the one in the wrong here. And maybe it's kind of... I'll give it a 50-50 toss-up. I like that you have the patch that group is wearing. It looks very similar. It doesn't look to be the exact one, but it's close. Some of the helmet details and motifs I definitely do see, as well as just the general kit that you're wearing. But notice how in the reference photos you submitted, they're wearing normal multicam. I would fix that personally. That's a personal preference thing. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 just because I'm mean and this is my episode. So let's go on to the next one. Markeem09, who is a previous submitter, sends in his Marine kit from the Vietnam War again. Now this is what I pictured to be that Marine who's just kind of over it. He's got the t-shirt on, the unbuttoned flak vest, and minimal pouches around his kit. Looks like you've got a medical bag there as well, and that fishing spear made out of bamboo. That's a really cool detail, and it looks bare bones, but the thing that strikes me a little bit too much is that color of that t-shirt. Now, from my limited experience with the period t-shirts, they're a little bit darker of an OD green. Maybe this one is sun bleached or something like that. But I think that fixing that color might help the impression look a little bit more in tune to the time. But let's check out the reference photos, see how you did. Markeem09, you pretty much nailed it. And I love that you sent in photos with the fishing spears. That's pretty darn cool. Again, I'm going to stand by my word on going for changing that t-shirt, but overall, you definitely fit the vibe. The M14, especially with the bayonet, is really cool. I think early war stuff isn't as appreciated as it should be in the Vietnam sphere, and I'm saying this as someone who doesn't do early war myself, but overall, I think it's pretty solid. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, maybe fix that shirt, and nice job, man. Thanks for sending another one in. The next one comes from Tom from the UK, and man, is this a really cool British kit. I don't think I'm a big fan of British kits almost at all. Like, I don't know, there's just something about them. I don't really love them, but for some reason, you put this one together really well, and I think the photos just help you elevate that impression look. That heavy web belt kit having most of your magazine, actually all of your magazine pouches around your waist, but still wearing that body armor is pretty neat. My favorite part is that revision helmet though. It's the revision Virtus helmet. You do see it with some German guys, especially like EGB and now moving on to some other units. So I do really like that you're wearing it here and it's just cool. It screams modern, updated, but kind of a weird design. This is the Virtus body armor, but you do have some Osprey pouches and whatnot on there, as well as the PLCE yoke. I think, again, as I mentioned, this is really cool, but my favorite part, you can't really see in this. You did send me another photo, but that rifle is an SA80A3 by Ares, and that is really cool. So I think you did a great job. You mentioned that you use this for film and TV and reenactment. I would love to know more about that. So send me some info, maybe comment it down below. Overall, this is a really nice kit. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 just because I think it's kind of unique and we haven't seen one yet. So nice job, Tom. Romeo Tango Oscar, 1967. RTO 1967. Sends in a kit not from 1967. This is his work in progress, mid-1990s Marine Force recon impression, modeled around the Silver Star recipient Robert Blanton's kit. Okay, mouthful, let's take a look at it. So, taking a look at what you got, looks like you have a very classic old school kit. This is like Black Hawk, Eagle Industries, the peak of that stuff, and very like VBSS looking. I know that there are some things that are similar between the kits, and maybe we'll take a look at that a little bit more in the reference photos, but you have a lot of neat old school details in here. That Pasget helmet, the Bali goggles with, do those have the white rim around them? Doesn't look like it. I need one of those for my Delta kit. Right now I'm running the Sand, Wind, and Dust goggles, but I'd love one of those. So that's pretty cool. You've got a Nomex flight suit, Eagle Industries pistol bell and pouches. And I think the key part of this kit is that point blank CQBE AVS vest. That is really cool. And again, screams that 90s stuff. You did mention that this has Rob Blanton's seal of approval. So props to you for talking to him. I'd love to see maybe some more of this impression. Maybe some in-environment stuff would be really cool. But let's check those reference photos. Okay, maybe I wasn't too far off talking about that VBSS stuff. I'd love to see the MP5 in there, and I really love the ProTech helmets. I just put a video out not too long ago talking about mine, so I'd love to see that for your kit as well. You do a really good job with all these details, and maybe there's a couple things to flesh out as you mentioned, so I'm going to leave it at a 4 out of 5 for now. Maybe add some stuff, but overall, it looks pretty darn good. Nice job, RTO 1967. The next one comes from one of the most excited reenactors I think I have ever spoken to. This guy is in his own niche and he is extremely, extremely passionate about what he does. I even put him on the thumbnail of this video because of it. This is Ottoman Reenactor. And I think you could forget the entire rest of this kit, and if you just had the mustache, you would be period correct. This is a really, really nice put together of a Soviet officer. Talking through some of your details, you have the officer's cap, an OBR 69/73 officer's uniform. You have a university graduation badge, qualification badge, Soviet undershirt, long johns, officer's leather belt, all the things you need for an officer. That Makarov on the pistol lanyard is super cool. It's just a great kit overall. I imagine you're going to match up perfectly with the reference photo, so let's check that out now. And bam, there you go. I wanted to include that pistol photo rather than one of the other ones, but I think you could drop yourself right in, do a little color grading with the picture, and you would be, without a doubt, seamless in here, even with the mustache. So Ottoman Reenactor, you did a fantastic job. Easy 5 out of 5 in my book. Looking forward to future submissions from you. Beastie Boy sends in a Sobr Bulat kit from about 2013 to 2016. Another Rust 401 that I know nothing about, but I can see how it matches up with the reference photo. So let's dive into some of the things that you got. Now, Beastie Boy is rocking an ACH with a couple different accessories on there. A Bagari with some no-name pouches and a D2 Defender groin pad. Different kinds of accessories and uniform pieces like the ANA combat shirt and pants, and an ENL AKM Gen 2. Now, you sent in a few pictures and a few variations, so forgive me if I'm not showing the correct photos for what you've mentioned or what I'm mentioning. But overall, it seems like you have a lot of the same details. Maybe just some minor things changed here and there. And is that second photo at Guardian Center? It kind of looks like it is. I'm pretty sure I have a photo maybe on that same wall. But overall, it looks pretty cool. Let's take a look at those references, though. That's what we care about here. And as you'll notice, I did not include a picture of you in these reference photos. Or did I? We don't know, because you did that kit really darn well. You can't really see too many differences from the example you sent in. And I think you would line up pretty darn well. So I'm going to give you a 5 out of 5 on this one. Again, Russian stuff's not my favorite kit, but I felt that they were so similar that you deserve it. Nice job. I'm going to get flamed in the comments by all the Rust 4 people for saying something wrong or he wasn't perfect. Go fix it in the comments and be productive about it. Coming from MNU First RFB, also part of the group Woodland.Airsofting, is a desert kit. Now that was incredibly generic, but this is an 82nd Airborne Division kit from October of 2002. And Damn, is it early GWAT? I love it. Oh, it's so cool. That kit combo that you have with the woodland vest and all the pouches and everything mixed in with the desert uniform is awesome. It's such a good flavor. As you can tell, I'm getting really into like the 90s early GWAT stuff right now. So you hit the nail on the head with this one, man. And I especially love the backdrop. You and I kind of went back and forth on this, but this is one that they've used for movie sets, and I am so jealous of you getting that filming spot. But what really matters, again, is those reference photos. And from the little bit that I know, you can kind of walk right in and not look any different, which is what we love to see around here. As you can see with the 82nd Airborne guys, you rock it, nail it, every detail is there. Maybe a ruck too, I don't know, something to spice it up, because this is perfect and I'm just reaching here for improvements. 5 out of 5 for me, Woodland.Airsofting. Excellent job, man. I think I got a little too excited for that kit. Ethanb takes us to the Pacific Theater in the 1940s, and this is his World War II U.S. Marine Infantry, particularly the 1st Marine Division. Here, he's rocking an original helmet with a reproduction cover, a blouse and trousers from the TV show The Pacific. I'm not sure if these are ones that are actually screen used, because I know those have floated around before, or maybe it's just the same manufacturer. I can't remember what it was. Was it like SM Wholesale or something? Let me know in the comments below. You have a mix of reenactment and original web gear, which I respect. I do have a small collection of World War II Marine stuff, and it's actual stuff from the time period. I wouldn't want to use that for reenacting. So overall, good choice there. And of course, you have your Thompson. Pretty iconic weapon for World War II. You've even got the magazine pouches for it. So nice, pretty neat. I'm more of a fan of the M1 carbine myself, but overall, you did a nice job. Let's see how those reference photos line up. Ethanb, without a doubt, knocks it out of the park. In fact, if you color graded one of those early photos, you would look pretty darn close to some of these other ones. You did a great job on this, Ethan. I love all the details. The simplicity of some of the Marine kits out there is really what makes them shine. They're not overloaded and everything. They're just simple and effective. And I think that's really cool. You did it well. Nice job. Field Marshal Airsoft sends in a Ukrainian modern infantry kit. And thank goodness you're wearing some of that Ukrainian camo up top. If this was all just a multicam kit, I'd kind of not like it as much. But not only do you have the Ukrainian camouflage top, but that plate carrier looks to be in that pattern as well. Huge props and kudos to that. Just some of the details that I'll point out for the viewers out there. You have an MM14 Ukrainian issued uniform top, a MOLI UA MM14 plate carrier, and an MM14 cover on your fast helmet. The 74M you mentioned is not necessarily like Ukrainian army, but it's captured and circulated a lot, so it has seen use in that conflict. And honestly, it looks cool. I want to see how it matches up with the reference photos, but I could see it being used over there. Here you go. As you had mentioned, I think one of the things you're missing is some tape, and that would really help elevate this impression and make it fit in a little bit better. But overall, it's not a bad look whatsoever. I think you matched a lot of the kit details and, of course, got some of the issued equipment that they use over there. So nice job, Field Marshal Airsoft. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 fruitcakes. The Switchblade sends in a 45th VDV kit. The last time we talked, it was a lot of kind of like AliExpress stuff, and he says that he's updated it a ton, and I think it shows here. He has a lot of kit pieces from ANA, Technicom, Wartech, and Ars Arma. He noted around the time period that he was replicating, especially with the reference photos, he noticed that a lot of them were wearing multicam plate carriers from those Russian brands, but EMR top and bottom, as well as the helmet cover. And he wanted to replicate that here. So let's take a look at those reference photos, see if we can pick anything apart, but overall, I think it's looking a lot better than last time. Remind me in the comments, what episode did you send in on? I'd love to see a before and after. Maybe I can jump between videos and show them. So let me know in the comments. All right, jumping onto these reference photos, you definitely see that a lot. As you can see in the very far end, you do match that, especially with that groin protector. But I wanted to put this one in the middle because it triggered me beyond belief. Again, I hate that word. I could not stand seeing this middle photo with that Flecktarn top. Ugh, disgusting. But your plate carrier and the other details all look good, so I'm going to include it because it bugs me just a little bit more on top of it being a Russian kit. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 just because you included this as one of your reference photos. But overall, Switchblade, fantastic glow up. You did a great job. Let me know, again, what episode you were in previously. I'd love to see side by side. Evolution Militaria, friends with another person in this episode, sent in a 1997 to 1999 Marine Corps Force Recon kit. All of the equipment that he mentions here is original with the exception of the firearms and flash hood. And bam, thank goodness we're seeing an MP5. The last guy didn't have one. I love it here. And it looks like you guys have a pretty similar setup, maybe some details that are different. Let's talk about those. You have a TSSI Nomex assault suit, Danner Acadia boots, flash hood, combat vehicle crewman gloves, Alta brass rivet knee pads. Oh, I'm jealous of those. I need some of those for my Delta kit. So you rocking them here, those are the correct period style. Very cool, man. Very jealous. You have an Eagle Industries belt with that Safariland 3004. Another thing that's really cool. I do have a 3004, but it's super cool here. Nice job picking up that piece. And you also have that point blank AVS vest. Awesome piece. It's definitely a rare looking piece. Like, I don't think I've noticed those many times. For you to be able to rock it in such a good looking kit definitely does it justice. Nice job on this overall, but we want to check those reference photos. So let's jump into there, and I think you're going to be just fine. Evolution Militaria matches these reference photos pretty darn well. Down to the MP5, which again, I love that you're running it. Now you look pretty darn close to that top center picture, and I think that you would fit in there pretty perfectly, especially with those Alta knee pads. I just can't get over those. And I'd love to see a helmet. I'm very curious what kind of helmet you're running with this kit, whether you're going to do a ProTech or a PASGit or RBR. Actually, I'm not sure if the RBR was used. You'd have to correct me on that. I'm just speaking here from what I think might have been used. But again, let me know what kind of helmet you use. It'd be really cool to see that piece to this. But overall, Evolution Military did a great job. This is a 5 out of 5 for me. I can't escape it. Oh, Russian kits again. That's fine. We'll work with it. Callsign Monarco sends in his Alpha DA kit from 2017 to 2022. This is a Russian FSB kit. All right, so he sent me a very, very fleshed out kit list. I'm not going to go through everything here, but there are a couple pieces that I want to highlight, of course. The helmet that he's rocking is an LSH Z1 Plus V.1 plus an FSB shop cover, and a ton of details on that. He's running a UF Pro uniform set, which is one of the reasons I wanted to point it out. The UF Pro stuff is super cool. There's different variants and things you can get for different units and all. Like the Germans, a lot of them private purchase the older style UF Pro striker combat shirt and pants, specifically the KSK, and it has seen a lot of use with the other generations and everything moving forward. But to rock it, I've heard great things about it, so in multicam, looks kind of cool here. That plate carrier is a DCS from Warrior Assault Systems. I remember when those first came out, I was looking at them and I was like, oh man, I should get one of these, specifically because they sold G36 pouches, which now that I know, it doesn't really make a difference. And also, I probably wouldn't have liked it for my impression kits, but it's a really cool carrier, so cool that you're rocking it here. And then we've got an AK-105, and you have a lot of accessories on it. I'm just going to list them off. There are a bunch of letters and numbers, so the Rust 4 guys will know what I'm talking about, but most of them are from 5KU. You're running a B-33 top rail, a B-31 top rail as well, but not for the bolt cover, a B-30 handguard rail, a PT-3 stock, an RK-3 grip, a ZRK-1, an RP-1, a Durchlog flash hider, that's a fun word, an A1 sling mount, a Zenitco Purst 4, a Zenitco Klesch 2U, an Elk Inspector DR, and a G99 2-point sling. I'm sure the Rust 4 guys know exactly what I'm talking about there, but there's a lot of detail that went into this kit, and I think that that's what makes this a pretty darn good looking kit to someone who doesn't even like Rust 4 stuff. Now, Callsign Monarco did a really good job, but let's take a look at those reference photos, which, given the detail that he's put into this stuff, I'm sure he matched it perfectly. Yeah, spot on, perfection. 5 out of 5 fruitcakes to you, good sir. You did a great job putting together all the details of this kit. And as I've mentioned, I have a strong appreciation for the level of detail that you did. So great work. No roasting from me. The next submission comes from an anonymous poster. He could tell that I was doing a lot of Russian kits this episode, so he wanted to send me something to make me feel better about it. All right, let's click on it. Oh, thank God. It's a German kit. More specifically, it is a KSK kit. This poster wanted to remain anonymous, but you guys might be able to figure out who he is. This is a very, very beautifully put together impression. It's got multi-tarn, head to toe, all issued stuff, and that's what I love. The G36 KA4 build is fantastic. I would love to see a G95 come from someone that's got this level of dedication. And lining up with the reference photos, it looks spot on as always. You can line yourself up, pick each and every part of your kit and place it on a guy that was there. Well put together, anonymous person. Thank you for sending it in. You made me feel better, especially as we're coming near the end of this episode. The next kit comes from someone named Joe, and he put together a PAVN kit specifically during the Vietnam War, maybe the earlier years. Now, something that makes me really proud is that he mentions that he used my video to help him put together this impression. Now, in hindsight, especially with talking to other reenactors, there's without a doubt certain things in that video that are maybe not the most accurate, maybe some overgeneralized things, but I do want to say I am still proud of that video for helping other people, especially new people, get into the PAVN side of reenacting. You know, I meant for that video to be very general in its nature so that it's welcoming enough that you're not inundated with so many minor details, but you can pick up the basics of it after watching it. I would highly recommend checking it out after this video is done if you haven't already. But taking a look at what he's got, he's wearing an original high dome brush hat. He's got a khaki uniform, which looks to be one of these solid reproductions. I'm not sure who made it, but seems to be pretty decent. He's wearing a first pattern chest rig and other Type 56 accessories. And on his rucksack, he has a self-made camouflage ring. Love that. That stuff is the level of detail that brings the kit to the next level. So nice job making that. Now, taking a look at the reference photos, it is very easy to see that you put together something that is naturally and perfectly simple. It matches the vibe of the kit being very much less is more, slimmed down, only what you need, but it still has all of the necessary details. So Joe, you did a great job. Thank you for using my video. And I hope that you take all of this kit that you're working on and improve and expand beyond anything that I've done, you know, because I'm not really a PAVN reenactor for the Vietnam side of things. That is something that I dove into a little bit, especially when making that video, but you did a great job, and I'd love to see more from you and this kit and whatever other friends you bring along the way. Now, before we get to the top 2 winners of Roast Your Kit episode 9, I want to talk really quickly about how to get yours in the next episode. As I had mentioned in the beginning of this video, we are no longer going to be taking Instagram submissions or general emails to my personal Airsoft email. Now it's going to go to tglentries@gmail.com. Only there. And here's what you need for episode 10. By June 1st, send me reference photos, kit photos, and a kit list. Now, I just want the basics on this kit list. Please, God. I do not want to know the brand that your flexicuffs are in. I do not care. I just want the general idea so I can talk about some things and maybe some of the highlights of your kit. Please do not send me anything crazy. That all has to be by June 1st, and here's the catch. Episode 10 is a pretty big one. We're making it to the double digits. So this one is going to be an all-star episode. Anybody can send in their impression kit, but I'm only gonna be picking the top 10 with a small panel of judges for this one. So it's not just gonna be me picking the kits. I wanna get a variety of perspectives to maybe pick out some good ones. So send in your emails with all of those details by June 1st. Please stick around because we have 2 winners, and let's jump right in. The first winner of Roast Your Kit episode 9 is someone that I think has a lot of heart and really wants to push this community and grow it. And this comes from someone named Fabian. Fabian has put together a 2017 generic KSK kit, and there are plenty of details. I could talk about this kit forever, so let's go down the list. You're rocking an Ops Core Spezker style helmet, the Hexonia Spezker I should say, which is just a souped up Ops Core, with the correct style Velcro, a beautiful G36 KA4 replica build, an issued Linderhof Tactic Gen 5 plate carrier set, a battle belt with the very nice tan LLMPI holster. I love that holster. I do have a couple of those myself, but not one in tan, so I'd love to get my hands on one of those. A real Linderhof Tactic uniform combat top, and some replica of the pants and the KSK issued boots. Now, when you messaged this to me, I told you I would still roast it, and there's a couple things that I would change personally, and even to be more accurate. Number 1, man, you gotta change that belt. That belt is the civilian style one, not the one that was issued with the Gen 5. And taking a look through the reference photos that I have on hand, as well as the ones that you sent, I don't see this example. There are some minor differences between the one that was commercially available and the one that was issued with the Gen 5 set. So I would look out for one of those and maybe swap that over in the future. The other thing is having that upside down IFAK. Now, again, I looked through the references I had because I didn't want to be wrong with this. I don't know if I've seen any upside down IFAKs with the KSK in this time period. That is definitely an EGB thing. You see it all the time with EGB from this time period, even up to now pretty much. But I don't know if I've seen it then, so I'd maybe just turn it back right side up. But overall, Fabian, you did a fantastic job and easily a deserving spot for one of the winners on Roast Your Kit. You did mention that you want to swap over those pants. I understand the rarity of those, but overall, it looks really good. So great job, Fabian. Let's jump on to the second winner of Roast Your Kit episode 9. And this comes from another person who has built out a kit that I love and I've done myself. This is from Namsoft, Hawaii. And this is a MacV SOG kit. particularly later war. So 1969, 1970, maybe pushing 71. And oh man, you guys crushed it. You guys did such a good job with this. You're running the standard jungle fatigues. We have a Car 15, we have an M60 with the appropriate aluminum kind of faded top on it. Very nice detail. You guys are running stabo rigs, and I love the tape around your carabiners. Those gas masks and the face paint that you guys did look incredible as well. And I just noticed, actually, looking at that second photo, that stock is chopped off. I'm not sure if that's a reference photo thing. I'd have to look, but really cool detail. I know that that did happen because I think that that's for the aircraft, like to put the M60 in there. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but really cool detail. Something I didn't notice until I'm looking at these photos again now. And man, you guys just have so many good details on here. I could just look at these pictures forever. You guys did such a good job. Let's match it up with the reference photos though. I decided to include the one with the side-by-side of that gas mask, that grasshopper gas mask, because I mean, you guys fit the bill perfectly. Such a good job, Nomsoft Ref. I have no critiques, nothing. You guys just did great. So excellent work on this. I hope you guys enjoyed Roast Your Kit episode 9. Again, get your episode 10 kit submissions to me by June 1st, tglentries@gmail.com. I want your reference photos, your kit pictures, and a general kit list. Only the top 10 will be there. We'll see you guys in the next one.